Welcome back to Are You Ready for Stats? I'm going to take a moment to jump out of mapping and into some data manipulation that's necessary in order for us to be able to create a map. So, in the previous video, if you're watching this in succession, in the previous video, if you're watching this in order, I have information on being able to use a fill variable. Well, to be able to use a fill variable, I need to join data that has a fill variable I want to map with my shape data. So that's the reason that the following coding is taking place. So let's start with what I have in line 19. So there I'm reading in census data that is from the US Census for the years 2020 to 2024. And then this line of code, line 20 and 21, I'm taking the census data and I'm going to pipe it. So minimize or create just a smaller amount of data, filtering by the state name, which I just want the state of Michigan. So that's what that line of code is doing. So now you see here in my census data, I had every state, including Alabama, Arkansas, all of the states. But now in the Michigan census, I have just Michigan because here I told it to pipe it or filter out just those state names that have the state of Michigan. Now, it's important to remember that when you are doing code like this, the capitalization and spelling has to be exactly the same. So now in line 24, I am going to be removing the word county. And the reason I'm doing that is because in my Michigan shapefile, you'll notice that the county is just the name of the county. It does not include the word county. So here, Alcona County, and then in the shape, it's just Alcona. So I need to get rid of that county word because otherwise, when I try to join them, R will not know that they're meant to be joined together. It cannot think for itself. So here you'll notice that I have my data. So Michigan Census, when you see a $sign, it basically means in that data for this variable. So that's $sign is this variable from that data. So we're doing county name. That's the variable name. Again, exact same spelling and capitalization. And I'm basically saying remove all of the strings where in that Michigan census, in the county name, it says county. So you'll notice, and this is important too, because R does recognize a space as a character, that I have the space and then the word county, because I wanted to remove that whole thing in order to match exactly with the shapefile data. So when I run that, I can check in my census data, and now you see that the word county is gone. So that's great. We're one step closer. Next, I have to get all of my words to lowercase. So again, in the data for Michigan Census, I want for the county name variable to switch everything to lowercase. That's what the to lower means for this variable. So I'm assigning it back to the same variable. You could assign it to a different variable if you wanted to keep things, but there's no reason for me to. So now you see these are in all caps. After I run this line of code, now you can see that I'm down to lowercase. So great, one step closer, it's starting to match. And then there are a couple of words that here have a period, but in the shapefile do not. So it would take a really long time because it's got all the latitude and longitude, but if I can get down there quickly, LMNOP-S, there it is, S. So here you can see that in the shapefile, there is no period, but in the census file, there is a period. So these two lines of code are basically taking the period out and replacing it with a non-period St. Clair and St. Joseph. Okay, now the very last thing is you'll notice in the census file, I have a county and it's Michigan. I don't want the whole state, so I am going to remove the state of Michigan observation. So to do that, I'm using very similar code to what you have up here, but when you see two equal signs together, that means exactly. And then when you see an exclamation point and an equal sign, that basically means not equal. So I'm telling R to take that Michigan census data and I want everything that's not Michigan for the county name. So then when I run that, now you'll notice in my census data, I just have counties and not the entire state of Michigan. So that is the beginning of the necessary data manipulation that I need to do in order to be able to join two files together. If this video helped, like and subscribe, and in future videos, we'll join them and then make a map for the state of Michigan. See you there.